What's up, barbecue fans? Welcome back to the patio. My name's Jake. You're watching Roman Cook. Today on the patio, we're doing a little bit of experiment. Shocking, I know, but I have a saying at home. Everything tastes better with smoke flavor. I've even got a t-shirt that has a saying on it. And today, I'm making one of my favorite things, but I'm doing something a little different. I'm gonna show you a little bit of the versatility of the Yoder wood-fired oven. We're only gonna use it for a little bit, but we're actually gonna use the top to cook on it, and then we'll use it as a broiler rather than working inside. So one of my favorite things that I really like to make is chicken parm. It's easy to make, but it is so delicious. In fact, every single time I go to an Italian restaurant, I always order chicken parm. I never order anything else, and a lot of the times I just focus on the chicken. I don't even care about the pasta. So today what we're gonna do is we are gonna make some chicken parm for the first time on the channel, so I was thinking to myself, I make some amazing smoked chicken stuffed shells. I made it not too long ago. It's one of my signature recipes. I've been making it for a lot of years, and a lot of people had it and loved it. I'll put a link up here, but essentially it's got some smoked chicken, and I really think the smoked chicken goes really well with the red sauce. So today, we're gonna take our chicken parm and step it up a notch. We're gonna smoke it first, and because I don't wanna cook it, I want it crispy, we're gonna cold smoke it in the Yoder. Let me get gloved up here real quick, but what you can see is I've got my Yoder wood-fired oven over here, and what I've done is I've put the top rack on top. Now, it's not designed to go there, it doesn't really fit, but since we're not gonna be cooking, we're just gonna be smoking on there, it's just sitting right on top. And I've got this guy right here. This is a baby smoking tube. It actually extends to a full-size length, but I wanted it in the small formation. You can already see I've got just a little bit of hickory pellets here. And what I'm trying to do here is that I want to keep them together so they burn nicely, but I'm only gonna smoke for like 30, 40 minutes. I'm not gonna overdo it. You can quickly overdo poultry. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in here and get this lit up. And we're gonna throw this guy on the top. We'll take out our torch. You want to get that good and lit, it'll just go out if you don't. And we'll let that go for a little while, burning on its own. And today I've got some D'Artagnan Foods Heritage Green Circle Chicken. This stuff is delicious. Very, very flavorful chicken. Got a Ziploc bag here. What we're gonna do here is this chicken, the breasts are nice and pinkish orange. I mean, look at the color of the chicken on there. Big difference than what you get at the grocery store. We'll put that guy in there. We've got one more breast in here. Chicken tender is gonna come off the side there, so we'll put that separately, but you can see, you know, it's nice chicken. Now, if you're getting chicken from the grocery store, traditional chicken breasts are gonna be a lot thicker. So what you should do there is you should cut them in half and butterfly them, or you can just cut them right in half and then use a mallet and flatten them out a little bit. We're gonna use a little bit of olive oil here. Just try and get the air out of the bag. And the oil will just help make sure we don't tear our chicken, right? We don't wanna do that. And we've got just a mallet here. And what you're doing is you're hitting it kind of on an angle to flatten it out a little bit, or down towards yourself. But really the purpose here is to flatten out the meat a little bit so you get some even cooking. You can go really thin. I like a little bit of chicken in there, so I usually don't go too thin. And that's it. It's probably ½ inch thick, 3/4 of an inch thick tops. That's all you need. Let me do the other one. Now we've got both flattened out. I separated the other tenderloin there. Our smoke tube just went out on its own, so we're in good shape there. Now I've just got some Jacobsen black pepper salt. This stuff is really good. Nice generous coating on both sides. And now what we'll do is we'll just put these guys on the top shelf over here. The other thing I'm going to do here is I don't want this filling up with smoke and over smoking the poultry, so we're going to actually turn on the Yoder. And what we're going to do is we're not even going to hit the start button. We're just going to let that fan go. Fan's going to circulate the air and help push that smoke through. Should come out the stack here in a second. There it comes. And now we're gonna smoke for about 30-40 minutes. While our chicken's smoking, we're gonna make a quick sauce here. If I can see what I'm doing here. We're gonna take a little bit of olive oil, probably a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons. And some rough chopped onions. I like a little bit of texture to my sauce, so we're gonna go a little on the higher, or the larger size. We're gonna let these break down for a little bit. Now, the big thing here is you don't wanna fry these. You wanna saute them and break them down. And we're gonna let these go for about 3 or 4 minutes. All right, so it's been a few minutes. One thing I forgot to mention, you can take some salt, sprinkle that on there. I put a generous helping on there. What that'll do is that'll help extract some of that moisture and help your onions break down a little quicker. We're gonna put in some garlic. This is a couple tablespoons. Now I like garlic. I mean, I like garlic. If you're not a big garlic person, you don't have to use any. You can use 1 tablespoon, that'll probably be fine. If you're looking for a sauce that's got a little bit more texture to it, you guys have seen me make a quick no-cook sauce for pizza. You can use that sauce and just cook it for 20-30 minutes and you'll end up with a great sauce as well. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna get this garlic up to temperature. It is a loud day outside, I'll tell you what. I never film on a Thursday, I have the day off, so I'm filming and there's planes flying over, there's someone cutting the lawn there, it's a windy day out, but we're still cooking. So once these have come together and you're getting a little bit of color on the garlic, don't go too far. Burnt garlic is terrible, right? So 30 seconds, a minute, tops really. What we're gonna do here is I've got some white wine. I'm just gonna deglaze the pan a little bit. That'll also help counteract some of the acid in the tomatoes. We're gonna put some oregano, tablespoon of that. Roughly the same with some basil. And then I'm gonna take some tomato paste because this is not gonna cook very long. This will help really infuse some flavor into it and it'll help thicken up our sauce. And just kind of stir the wine in here. Just cook off a little bit of the tomato paste just to take some of the raw flavor off of it. And of course we need a little bit more salt, so we'll put some salt and pepper in here. And today I'm just using some crushed tomatoes. And we're gonna mix all this in finally with some sugar. This is maybe 3/4 of a tablespoon, not too much. It'll just help knock off the edge of the tomatoes as well and sweeten it up a little bit. This is not a sweet sauce though. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take this inside. I'm gonna bring it up to a simmer and I'm gonna let it go for about 20 minutes. The chicken's been on for about 15, 16 minutes. I'm gonna let it go for another 15 or 20 more. I'm gonna take the sauce inside and just let it simmer up, thicken up, and get all the flavors melding together, and then we'll bread our chicken. The chicken has been on for exactly 40 minutes. It's time to get on the next steps. First off, we've got 2 eggs here, which I'm going to break down and give a quick beating. I'm gonna beat the eggs, I'm not gonna give them a beating. All right, so we've got our eggs beaten there, and we are going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in there. This is about a cup and a half of flour, a little bit of salt and pepper in there. I had to get some seasoning through the whole process, so here's some onion powder. And a little bit of, this is garlic powder. Get this mix up. And over here, lots of people make the layer without Parmesan in it. I don't know why it's called Parmesan chicken for a reason. I like to put Parmesan, so there's about a half cup here, and I'm gonna use some panko crumbs here instead of bread crumbs. And There's probably 3/4 of a cup of panko, half a cup of Parmesan cheese there. We're gonna mix that all in there. Now I didn't use a microplaner. I used one step up, like a coarse microplaner, I guess, because I don't want it too big where I've got to break it down, but I don't want it so fine that I can't see it. So it's a mix in the middle. And now what we'll do, we will first get rid of this guy. Is that hot? And we're gonna take our chicken here. You wanna get a nice coating of flour all around it, but shake it off. You don't want it, a bunch of extra flour there. Then get a good, make sure you get lots of egg around it. Shake that off as well. Then we'll go into our panko. Now I like to kind of really pack it in there. And we've got our little sheet here. And there's one. And just like that, we got all our pieces coated. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take off this top rack here and we'll fire up our Yoder here. And while that's coming up to temperature, we'll clean up and take this in the house. Our Yoder is almost up to temperature. I decided to dial it back to 400 for this stage. I don't want it to get too hot. One thing to note, when this is preheating, the top of the pizza oven is gonna get hot. It's gonna go over 600. These come in super handy. This is just a cheap one from Amazon. But as we've approached temperature, you know, we're at 410, depending where you hit it. And I've got a cast iron pan here that's just 1/4 of the way filled with oil. Do not overfill this, especially you've got a big fire over there. There's no reason. We just need to do a shallow fry on either side. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this up to temperature to about 350 to 370. This is a candy thermometer. I use it when I'm frying, but I can put this in here. If you've got a deeper pot, it'll actually attach to it, but I can put this in here to get a good reading of where my oil is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this get to temperature and then we'll go grab our chicken. So I ended up turning it back up to 450. Just to give you an idea, if I shoot the bottom of the pan with my laser temp, we're at 415 and we're about 370 with the oil. The oil lags behind a little bit. And remember, I don't have a burner under this, so if I put cold meat in there too quickly, I'm not gonna be able to get it back up to temperature quickly. So I'm a little bit higher. I've left the chicken out on the counter, so it's not too hot, or not too cold. And we're gonna fry these guys right up. Take the 2 smaller pieces first. And we're gonna saute these up until they're a nice golden brown. It's probably gonna take 3 minutes for these guys, maybe 4 tops. So unfortunately, the recovery time of the oil between pieces was a little bit longer than I expected. So I probably should have taken it up to maybe 550 to keep the temperature up between pieces. I decided just to get my induction burner because it was quicker and finish up the chicken. It's looking pretty darn good. We've got this in another cast iron pan with some raised ridges here. One of my biggest pet peeves about chicken Parmesan is people make it, then they put a layer of sauce in it, then they put the chicken in there, then they put a layer of sauce, then they put cheese on it, and you end up with some soggy ass chicken parm. You spent all that time to build up a nice crust on it, why are you making it soggy? I don't like it that way. So we're gonna raise it off the top. We're not gonna put we're gonna raise it off the bottom. We're not gonna put any sauce on the bottom. We are gonna put some on top. So I've got nice thick sauce. That's some thick goodness there. And because we're using the wood-fired oven, this is not going to take too long to melt. I pulled the chicken off about 155. As it's carrying over, it's probably at our perfect temperature. Now Ollie was all over the place, so I had to put him inside. You guys asked to see him last time, so here's a shot of Ollie when he's behaving. But we've had him for about 6 weeks. He's about 14 weeks old. He's cute when he's sleeping, but he's a handful. He's cute all the time, but he is a little bit of a handful. We're gonna put into obedience training here soon. So now we've got some sauce on there. We've got to get some cheese, and I'm gonna got some fresh basil here. We're gonna roll it up real quick, and I'm just going to give this a quick slice underneath. And I'll put some very fine pieces of basil here. We'll put some more on top. And we've got a thicker piece of mozzarella cheese to go down the center of these guys. Now this is just a block. I just used a knife and cut it down. Slices would be perfect here. I just didn't have any on hand. Now what we'll do is we'll throw this in the oven. And we'll let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes. It's been 8 minutes. I think we're done. Let's pull this guy out of here. Ooh. Tell me that doesn't look good. Got some sizzle, got some brown in here. I think we're about done. Just need a little bit of green. So we'll let this cool down for a good 10 minutes and then we'll try it out. It's been 8 minutes. Time to dig into these guys. Before we can do that, let me talk to you about the contest on my channel. Every video we do a contest. Super easy to enter. All you gotta do is you gotta be subscribed to the channel, you gotta like the video, and comment down below with 2 hashtags. For this video, we'll do hashtag smoked chicken, hashtag chicken parm. Comment down below, and if your comment's randomly drawn, I'll give you a $25 gift card to appbbq.com. And if you happen to be a Patreon member, I'll double it and I'll make it 50 bucks. Let's see how we made out. One thing I can tell you for sure, I don't know if that's, did you hear that? Did you hear that crispiness? That's what I wanna see. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to taste. Now listen, I'm a saucy kind of guy. I'm not saying I don't like sauce on them. I just like it to be crunchy when I eat it. Which, if you can hear that, my friends, that is mission accomplished. Hold on. I need to confirm my thoughts here. Yes, my initial thoughts were correct. I rocked that. Knocked this out of the park. This is friggin' delicious. You get a little bit of smoke, not too much. It's not over smoky by any means. You could almost probably go up to an hour, and there's only a little bit of pellets burning on that one. So it's not putting a ton of smoke into it. You can get some smoke flavor in it. It is super, super crunchy and crispy. I mean, the entire thing. We got some cheese that kind of came off here, but like, that's how I like a chicken parm. I like some sauce. but I want it crunchy the entire time I'm eating it. I don't want a soggy chicken parm. I think that's terrible. The smoke flavor really kicks this up a notch. Super, super happy with this. Luckily for me, I got some pasta inside. I'm gonna take this inside, and I think I'm gonna have two. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, do so below. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.